What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be taking a look at another very exciting new Transformers battle card. It's coming in Wave 2, Rise of the Combiners. It is a rare card, and this one's kind of fun. It is called Press the Advantage, and it's got an orange and a green pip. Orange pip is good. It means that if you flip it while attacking, you get an extra 1 onto your attack. That's quite nice. But the green icon is really nice as well. This is new in Wave 2, and it says that if you flip this while attacking or defending, you may, at the end of the battle, discard a card from your hand and pick this up. Basically, swap a card in your hand for this. And that's really, really good. It means that you're either going to draw into it naturally, or you're going to flip it while attacking or defending and get it. So this is wonderful. What does a card actually do? Well, you choose one of your Autobots. It gets +2 attack until end of turn. Cool. But you also choose an enemy Decepticon, and it gets -2 defense until end of turn. Although a quick reminder that, as we saw with Erratic Lightning that we looked at recently, your attack and your defense cannot go below 0. So Erratic Lightning was all about your defense. It put your attack up by 3, defense down by 1, but your defense can't go below 0. To be fair, we've not actually had confirmation your attack can't go below 0, but otherwise it would kind of repair characters. I feel extremely confident your attack cannot go below 0. So this is kind of a 4-point swing between attack and defense. It is kind of giving you +4 attack. And +4 attack is good. +4 attack it's one of the limits that I often talk about in the Transformers TCG. So, if we take something like Grenade Launcher, for instance, Grenade Launcher gives you +4 attack, and that's lovely, but it goes away at the end of the turn, and that's very bad because you would probably rather keep it, to be honest with you. So Grenade Launcher shows us that you just can't have +4 attack without a downside. Similarly, we saw Reckless Charge in Wave 2. It was revealed by the lovely folks over at Wreck and Rule. Still refuse to believe that's a coincidence. And Reckless Charge also gives you +4 attack as an action, but then you take 3 damage at end of turn. So there are always limits in every game, and the limit that's been set down in the Transformers TCG is if you want +4 attack, you can have it, kind of, but there's always going to be a downside here. And let's be clear, this might not give you +4 attack. Now, I know it's only actually doing +2 attack, but I'm talking about a 4-point swing here. The thing is, if your opponent doesn't have a defense of 2, or above, then you actually don't get the same swing here. So, let's say we take something like Autobot Jazz, just because it's alphabetically the first character that has 0 defense. Autobot Jazz was one of those for which Erratic Lightning would be really nice, because it's already got 0 defense, it's not going any lower than 0 defense. So here you get the +2 attack, like you always do, but you don't really take away 2 from defense, because you can't take away 2 from defense, because the defense is already 0. So here all you're really doing is getting +2 attack, and +2 attack is fine, but +2 attack is nothing to get particularly excited about. We've got other ways of getting +2 attack. I mean, any character that's damaged can take Energon Axe, and that gives you +3 attack, and it gives you Pierce 2, which I think we can all agree is a little bit better here. Or you can have +2 attack with Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime, just so long as you're Optimus Prime, but it also gives you +1 defense and there's no downside here. Or if you really just want +2 attack, Primary Laser will just give you +2 attack. So against characters that have a high defense, this is great. Against high defense characters, this makes a huge difference. Against low defense characters, it is a significantly worse card. And the other thing is here that sometimes there will be other effects that depend on your attack. So RC's a classic example here. RC has Pierce equal to attack. So +4 attack gives RC 4 Pierce, and that's brilliant. +2 attack but -2 defense for your opponent gives you PS2 while taking their defense down by 2, but RC's attack and Pierce are always the same, so it doesn't really matter. And that, again, becomes a slight issue here. Nothing here is to say that it's a bad card by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very good card. The thing is, if it was just an action that gave you +4 attack, I mean, firstly, it would be good, but secondly, it would just be a significantly better Reckless Charge, so I don't really see the point. So you really are in that situation where you're metagaming, because this is one of those cards that gets significantly better based on what your opponent is playing. If you can find yourself playing against decks that have very, very high defense, and look, the average defense is 2. So against the average character, this is going to be fine. Let's say you find yourself coming up against Ransack, which it's not the best attacker ever until it's really damaged, but it does have a defense of 3. Then you're in a brilliant situation where you can really take advantage of this and lower their defense. And then you're doing a lot more damage than you otherwise would. You're essentially getting the +4 attack. But the problem is, as I've said, there are way too many times that this is just not going to work well enough. And that's before we even get to the other caveat here, and it is a huge caveat. This will only give +2 to an Autobot, and it will only give -2 to a Decepticon. So again, I'm talking best case scenario, essentially +4 attack. But that's if you've got an Autobot and you're against a Decepticon. So if you're rocking a Dinobots list, and I will fairly often be rocking a Dinobots list, I do love my Dinobots, and you find yourself against an Insecticon list, brilliant, bring it on. The problem is that's not always gonna be the case. Now, one saving grace I do find for this is combiners. We've got 6 combiners coming in this set, plus Devastator, which is coming as its own deck at the end of March. And by their very nature, combiners are single faction teams. Volcanicus is an Autobot, and all the constituent parts are Autobots. Menasor is a Decepticon, and all the constituent parts are Decepticons. But now you're relying on playing Volcanicus or something else and crossing your fingers and hoping you come across something like Menasor. Whereas if instead you sit down and the person opposite starts dropping Optimus Maximus, well then you're out. And this card is going to be not useless. It's never going to be useless. Because you know if you're playing Autobots, right? And if you're playing Autobots, you will get the +2 attack regardless. You will get +2 attack if you're playing Autobots. But if you're not against Decepticons, you're not getting the full benefit. I mean, if we take something like Double Primes, which is a fairly popular Wave 1 deck, you've got Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend and Autobot, and you've got Nemesis Prime. So Nemesis Prime is always going to be a Decepticon, and Optimus Prime is always going to be an Autobot. So there's always going to be a target. You just make sure you go against Nemesis Prime and you're golden. But it looks like moving into Wave 2, it's likely that we're going to have slightly less mixing of Autobots and Decepticons. Now, that is a ridiculous statement to make this early on. We really don't know what's going to happen in Wave 2. We don't know what people are going to be playing, but when we see cards like Noble's Blaster and Scoundrel's Blaster, which are clearly designed to be faction-specific, and then we see all of these combiners and then cards like this, we are being pushed towards playing Autobots or Decepticons. Which means you're basically going to have a 50-50 chance of this doing the best thing. Because this is an attacking card. And if this isn't going to do well enough, if this isn't going to give you enough extra attack, you might as well just play something else. Just play something like Reckless Charge to guarantee the extra 4. Play something like Grenade Launcher to guarantee the extra 4. Make no mistake about it, this can be a very powerful card. But if you're against an Autobot team, it's less good. If you're against a team that's got defenses of 1 and 0, it's less good. I like that it's an attacking card of an orange pip. That really helps in attacking decks. I love the green pip, allowing you to get it nice and easily. That's handy. And there are certainly times where this is basically going to be Grenade Launcher as an action card. And I know Grenade Launcher lasts 1 turn and this lasts 1 turn, but you can use them both together because action card and upgrade. But there are going to be other games where this is a significantly underpowered Grenade Launcher, and it's just going to be a little bit sad. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think about this card, but I would very much like to know what you think about this card. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at @TheWossy, where we talk about Transformers and other games. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.